Hey friends and family, my name is Skylent, and I try to play a lot of different games and show you the ones that are maybe underrated, overlooked, hidden gems, games that no one plays, things like that. Just want to try to be a little bit different, but of course it's a list video, it's a top 5. Today, we're keeping the hype alive with free-to-play, early access games on Steam for winter 2020. These are the games that you should be playing going into winter. I have no idea about the actual future of early access games. I can't tell what games are coming out when they're not announced. So, you know, this isn't like games that have yet to be announced. These are games that have already been announced, they're released in the fall, and, you know, we know that they're good, they have positive reviews, or they have some gimmick that make them really worthwhile looking at, or keeping an eye on for the future. Again, these are early access games. They might be a little bit buggy or rough around the edges, but they're free. You know, jump in, try them out, have a hoot and a holler. That's what it's about. Let's do it. Let's give these games a try. Let's jump into my top 5. Okay guys, so the first game I want to talk about, and keep in mind this is a top 5 as well, so there's not that many games out there in this genre, but Stay Out. We're going to talk about Stay Out real quick. I've played a number of games just like Stay Out, and I'm very confused. I don't know if I'm just like the not right proper demographic for these kind of games, but these Russian designed survival games, a lot of them are like shooter MMOs, stuff like that, and I'm sure actually there's a couple that are really popular right now. But at the same time, they're always polarizing. You know, like maybe some people play them, but I don't know if it's really like a proper Western audience. I don't know if like this is specifically a Russian thing, or if it's just specifically like people who are hardcore into like survival shooter mechanic style games. And these style games just really do that the best. But what I do know is that Stay Out has an incredibly boring tutorial. And it's weird, like a lot of Russian games have really, really boring tutorials. Is that just me? And maybe I'm being completely out of line here. But it's just that style of game, just generally, you want to kind of just jump in. I don't know, like DayZ and things like that. I guess historically for us on the Western side, it's just like we just jump in and we do it and we kind of, you know, that we understand. But Stay Out is like an MMORPG. It's not just DayZ, just PvP, but it is a PvP survival shooter. But MMO, it is an MMORPG. But you also fight like giant spiders and stuff. So Stay Out has mixed reviews. It's the only game on this list that has mixed reviews at all. Even the extra games that I included in the description don't have mixed reviews, but I'm including it because it has potential and because I know people, like, even if a game has mixed reviews in this genre, people love these kind of games. So it could get better. I'm going to keep out hope for it because I think graphically it does look impressive. I think the ideas, the concepts are really nice. Then again, I played a lot of these kind of games and they can get really viral and then they just instantaneously die and they get remixed into a new game or something. And I think Stay Out might be that. But we'll see. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. And number 4 on the list, we have totally not Spellbreak. That's right, guys. Free to play on Steam. It's a game called Valgrave, Immortal Planes. Valgrave is obviously directly inspired by Spellbreak. This is basically like if Spellbreak was Overwatch, this is Paladins. But it kind of similar to that metaphor. Well, Valgrave actually looks like it's got some really interesting concepts that can dramatically change the mechanical play of the game. So the main difference is, yeah, it's a magical, you know, fighting battle royale game, but Valgrave really goes hard on really being more inspired, less by shooters and more so by fighting games or by like MMO battlegrounds and things like that. You have abilities like Shadow Step, you've got pools, and you've got weird Doomfisty style combos where you can kick someone into a meteor and then you uppercut them and you do all these extra like fighting game stuffs. So that's going to be it. Also, you can kind of notice that it looks a lot stickier. Honestly, this game looks like a Switch game compared to Spellbreak's huge amount of polish and physics and things like that. Valgrave definitely a little bit more grounded in a sense. And a little bit clunkier, but early access, you know, like we saw with Paladins, obviously didn't have the polish of Overwatch, and yet it's still doing pretty good. So this game might pick something up, but then again, Spellbreak itself isn't that popular. But maybe Valgrave can kind of carve out a really awesome niche. It'll be kind of like Brawlhalla in a sense. Like, yeah, it looks cheesy and stuff, but like, dude, that cheesy fun is good for everyone. That is, if you like battle royales. All right, so halfway on our list here, I'm going to put a game that has a lot of competition, and that's going to be Overstep. And by a lot of competition, I also mean that almost nobody cares about this genre, and that's coming from a place of love, because I love arena shooters. And Overstep is a very interesting game, a very interesting concept. It's going to go with the kind of the focus is on the parkour systems. I mean, you can even grind in this game. That's heavily emphasized with the rails all over the map. It's a very, very silly, over-the-top kind of arena shooter, which I really feel like arena shooters need to go in that direction. I really feel like we need to go way more ridiculous, more unique weapons and things like that. And obviously more unique and special and weird and more obvious transportation options, I guess you could say. Like Halo introduced a lot of fun vehicles and like the jump pads and things like that. And the physics of Halo, while the game was slow, was still a very engaging arena shooter. And ever since then, we really just kind of stuck with like the usual Quake systems, the usual Unreal systems, which they are different a little bit. Though I know Unreal had vehicles as well. Anyways, it's just arena shooters were very, very stagnant. And this just seems to be stepping over some of those older concepts while still being true to the genre. And I don't know if it's going to crank it up to 11. I don't know if it's really at that point to just blow out the genre or anything like that. But I mean, I think if you're looking for something that's like Tony Hawk Pro Arena Shooter, then that's what this game is. It has a combo system where you're doing like tricks and parkouring around the map and shooting and killing people, but it's also a third-person arena shooter, which is rather unique as well. And you know, it's just kind of, it's loud, it's colorful. Maybe I would prefer it to be even more ridiculous, but I think this is a good step in the right direction for the genre. So hey, if you're a fan of shooter games, period, and especially arena shooters, let's jump in to Overstep. All right, guys, next game on my list here is going to be Playcraft, which I have a feeling it would be really popular, but there's a couple titans kind of in the way here, and this is a genre that actually has a lot of players and a lot of eyeballs on it, especially with Hytale upcoming. But we have Roblox as a competitor, and we also, we got Minecraft. In terms of these mini game creator style games, and then we even have Dreams on the PlayStation 4, which is looking fantastic. But Playcraft being free is pretty nice. Playcraft also having the graphical fidelity that it has, a little bit of a double-edged sword. But Playcraft does look pretty fun. I have to admit, the trailer was right in my face. There's a lot of stuff that I saw from like Halo Forge. This really reminds me of Halo Forge style community, which, you know, if you play all these different games, you might say, oh, it's just a game-making game. Each one has its own community, own style. You know, Roblox has its own style of games and its own, you know, culture even. Between Minecraft as well in this game will probably cultivate its own player base, which I think will be a little bit older of an audience for these style of games, but I think it's something that's really cool. If you've ever been interested in game design, you definitely should be playing these kind of games. And actually, it can even help you land a job, apparently. You know, if you actually have your portfolio, like if you went and made like a popular game in Roblox, that's something you can put on your resume. You know, just because you use a game to make a game doesn't mean you didn't make a game. Anyways, that's also to say, if you want to play some very, very unique games that you've never seen before, a lot of the times you'll find the most roughish but rarest versions right here in these games. This is the origination. Okay, I freaking Unturned started out as a Roblox game. Actually, and a bunch of mods turned into full games, such as Dota. You might have heard of that game. Counter-Strike, things like that. So definitely don't overlook this game. I know it's new, it's the underdog, but it's looking pretty good. Okay, and our number one, I've got a lot to talk about, and normally this would be rather niche, but it's actually the one that has the most reviews, and I think overall is the most reviewed, like highest reviewed on this list, and that's a game called War Selection. War Selection is essentially like Civilization if it was a RTS, but it's not just an RTS actually. They have a bunch of different modes that you can play, and they're really promoting, they even have one that's a battle royale. It's up to 62 players, where it's like the smallest civilization, you know, every so often gets cut off the map. That is sick. That's awesome. Now, I don't know how truly grand of a strategy this game is, but it's definitely, you know, earring on that. It's kind of grand strategy, but generally it's an RTS. It's a big, epic RTS that focuses on civilization-style gameplay. As you actually go up through the timeline, you choose different civilizations, literally, like if you want to do European or Chinese, I don't know, all sorts of different kind of things, right? If you want war elephants or, you know, move up through and you want castle walls, sweet stuff, okay? But in the end, I think that what I really want to say is that I'm excited to ride the wave for this because I think it actually could get a lot of people into the strategy genre. I think that, you know, we've had like Clash Royale, you know, on mobile, that's neat, right? And Clash of Clans, that's pretty much it. In terms of RTSs on PC, we haven't really had much. Grey Goo fell flat, Planetary Annihilation fell flat. And I've been trying to buy these games and play these games, and it just doesn't really feel good. You know, I've been playing like some IO strategy games even, but an actual good RTS that came out and launches as free to play, has some unique mechanics, is also some of the most biggest, and it has some of the most epic battles out there. Dude, you know, I would expect this game to be like $15 and no one buys it, but they launched it free? this seems like a truly quality game that hopefully picks up steam, and this underdog can end up coming on top of a very, very beloved but befallen genre. So yeah, I think if you're a fan of grand strategy, such as like the Total War series, or maybe you love micro strategy from StarCraft, or even like light strategy like you have in mobile games, I think this game can kind of bring us all together in the end. I think that would be beautiful. So War Selection, is it your selection for a strategy game? Let me know in the comments below. But guys, that's gonna be my picks, my new free-to-play early access games on Steam for winter 2020. Remember, these games all released in fall. I'm gonna do this list again whenever spring comes around and talk about the games that have released in winter next year. I'm really excited about covering new games and just talking about games that you guys have never seen or played. And let me know, actually, if you have any ideas for list videos. You know, if you know a game that's like a hidden gem, be like, oh, Sky, you need to play this, because actually that's how I found Overstep and what inspired this list. It's you guys. It's called Skylent Games, but it's the friends and family that make, you know, all this fun happen. So thanks so much, guys. And a big shout out to the ones who support me on Patreon, who donate directly during the streams, or even not, you know, you just throw out a donation. And of course, the ones who leave the comments. Oh my God, the like, subscribe it, and just sharing the video. You guys are absolute freaking champions. And so because of you, I'm gonna keep going, and we're gonna keep trying to find new games and play them together. Yeah, let's have a blast. And remember to join us in the Discord, please, and thank you. That's all I gotta say. All I can ask is you keep the hype alive. My name's Skylent, and I'll see you again next time.